Hi, my name is Cam, and I've been a library user here for 25 years. At the beginning of 2020, that I talked to Carrie about becoming a home delivery service volunteer to deliver library books to some people who want to stay home. And Carrie introduced me to a lady by the name of Rebecca. But she told me in the beginning that Rebecca doesn't meet anybody. So to find a way to understand what books she would like, borrow the books for her, and just leave the books at her door. She was ill most of the time, and therefore she can't even come to the door. Now, what I did was that I have to actually guess what books she would want to read. And every time when I pick up a book from the shelf, in my mind, I have an idea or try to form an idea of what Rebecca's like and how she would want the books to be and whether that would be a good book for her. Now, this is a very, very important trick, but it's also an important connection because I do think of you every time when I pick a book. And she was quite appreciative of that, and she said that my selections were always interesting. But what amazed me was that was actually last April before Easter, when I was collecting her return books, I found a chocolate bunny and a thank you note. Now, I never expect any client to actually do that thing for me because I feel that my work as a volunteer must be sort of offering for free and not expecting any return. But it was a very important gesture because it makes me feel like we were connected a lot more than just a client and a service volunteer. And so I returned SMS to her and said, I appreciate that, but really she didn't have to do that. But of course, she returned to me and said that she loved to do that. So that's one thing. And the last one, she apologized to say that she would have loved to meet you at the door, but she was always too slow because she was ill and she was sometimes in bed. So far we haven't met. And I replied to her saying that, Rebecca, look, we're already friends, even though we've not met each other. And I said that for me, I always think of you when I pick up a book, and this is a very important part of this service. I think of you as a real person, as somebody that I want to relate to, is a kind of connections. I would say that, we have now become friends, but interestingly, two friends that haven't met each other. This is really, should I say, a connection that's based a lot on guesswork. And I love this, interesting relationship.